Alright, hey everyone. How are you guys doing? I thought I'd make another YouTube video, make another rant. It's early, I don't really have anything else I want to do. I'm kind of bored, so I figured now would be the perfect time. So this video will be another rant, basically. And it's gonna be a rant about school rules and school dress code. So it's gonna be a part of my Looking Back at School series. For the first episode, I did homework. For this episode, I'm gonna be doing school rules and dress code. I'm not gonna do school rules and dress code separate because I feel like that will make the videos too short. Plus, dress code is basically a type of school rules, so I figured I'd just do them in one video. Now, I was actually planning on doing this video for a while now. I just haven't gotten around to it. Tyrese, Tyro's Zone 5, he actually suggested that I do this video. So I'm sure he'll be very happy to watch this, to finally see that this video is out and watch it. So yeah, alright. I'm going to start with a school rule that I'm sure most schools have to deal with this, and this is actually this rule, it makes sense. Actually, hold on. Sorry. I want to say one more thing before I get into the main part of the video. I just want to make it very, very clear, and I want you guys to understand something. School rules and dress code is important. It is. I'm not saying we shouldn't have any rules and we shouldn't have a dress code. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are some really, really stupid ones out there. So that's the ones I'm going to be talking about. So yeah, anyway. This first one that I'm going to be talking about, it makes sense, but it can also be stupid. It depends on the circumstances. Cell phones. I didn't even get my first cell phone until I was a senior. So I didn't even really have to deal with this that much. But yeah. Some teachers they will not allow your cell phone out during school hours and during class. Alright, I can understand that. I understand that very well to an extent, but let's say someone has to call someone, they need to call someone, or they're not feeling good and they want to call I don't know, a parent or a guardian, whatever, to come pick them up. Or let's say they're finished with an assignment, and then so they want to maybe burn some time. They can just play a game on their phone as long as the volume is down. People should not have the volume up on their phone because that can be distracting. That's another factor that it depends. If people want to have their phone out, I think they should either have it on mute or use headphones. So yeah, but But yeah, and if like a person is finished with their assignment, that's another main, like I just said, like if a person is done with their assignment, then I think they should be allowed to be on their phone. Obviously, if they have an assignment to do, they should not be on their phone. But like, if they're done or if they're like ahead of the class, then I think they should be allowed to be on their phone. So yeah, and I actually got to have my phone out in a few of my classes. Like sometimes, like I had this one teacher. I had him for government and economics. Mr. Comrade. He was really, really laid back. He didn't really mind us to be on our phones as long as, like, we were careful with it. Like, like number one, we didn't have, like, we had it on mute. In number two, we didn't have an assignment to do. So I actually remember being on my phone quite a bit in that class. And then I remember this one time in art class, I think it was April 1st, 2016, actually. Yeah, I'm really good with remembering dates. We were actually supposed to start on a project in that class, but Miss Comrade, yeah, Mr. Comrade and Miss Comrade, they're actually married. Mr. Comrade is the government economics teacher, and Mrs. Comrade is the art teacher. So yeah, I remember I remember playing with my phone in that class one day as well, because we had a sub and we didn't have anything to do, so we just kind of had like a free day in that class, and the teacher didn't seem to mind. I just got my phone out and I played games on my phone. I think I remember playing Papa's Freezeria to Go. I've always been a fan of the Papa Louie games. But yeah. And then I think in choir as well, I think I can remember being on my phone a few times during like choir. So yeah. I did actually play with my phone sometimes during school, but like I was careful. I didn't do it with teachers who were like, weren't laid back. I didn't do it like if I had an assignment and I didn't do it, like I didn't like have the sound on my phone. I was very careful with the circumstances I was under. My brother said that he got his phone taken away a few times. I never did, I got really lucky because I was like really careful, so I never actually got my phone taken away. My brother said it was actually very common and just about everyone did, but not me. So that's good. Sorry, my dad and my brother were talking. But yeah, I was careful about it. So I never got my phone taken away. But I think it should be allowed as long, like having your phone out, it should be allowed as long as you're number one. Done with your assignment, you don't have anything to do. Number two, you're not distracting anyone. You have your phone out on mute. or you're using like headphones. And number 3, like, your teacher is like laid back. As long as those 3 things, then phones shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, and okay, before I move on to the next thing, I want to elaborate a little bit on, like, they may need to talk to someone. I'm not talking about talking to someone for fun, because that can be distracting. I mean, like, for serious stuff. Like, let's say they're not, like, feeling very good, so they want to, like I said earlier, so, they may want to call their parent or guardian to come pick them up, That's an okay reason to, like, actually talk on the phone. But other than that, I think people should just, like, use them for, like, texting and, like, playing on, like, app games. Should phones ever be allowed. Plus, phones can be useful too. Like, they can be used as, like, calculators. They can be used as dictionaries. You can, like, use them to look stuff up, as long as, like, you're not, like, taking a test and, it's not considered cheating. But they can be very useful for a lot of, like, things, like research and doing equations. So I think people would get more benefit than they think by allowing phones in school. Okay. The next rule I'm going to get into is very, 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 or I'll say was, because, I'm not in school anymore, but this next rule, it is the most stupidest rule I have ever freaking dealt with in my entire freaking life. I don't know if it was like, I don't think it was like this in high school, but it was like this in junior high for me. You could not open your locker until the freaking bell rang to go to first period. Isn't that the stupidest rule you have ever heard in your entire freaking life? Why not? Like, what's so bad about opening your freaking locker, like, before the freaking bell rings? Like, I can't fathom that. Like, why? Like, what's wrong with freaking opening a locker before the bell rings? I'm already in the building. If we're allowed to go in the building before the freaking bell rings, why can't we open our locker as well? Yeah, that was not really much to talk about. Just a very stupid rule that the principal just decided to freaking pull out of his bum. I mean, don't get me wrong. The principal I had in junior high and high school, I mean, he was pretty cool for the most part, but he sometimes got mad at the stupidest things I would do. Like, seriously, the principal would get mad at the stupidest freaking things. I don't want to mention his name because I don't want to, like, feel like I'm, I don't live in that town anymore, and the chances of him watching this are probably slim to none, but yeah. But, I mean, he was a cool guy, too. Don't get me wrong. He can be pretty funny and cool, but I don't know. He was very easily annoyed. I can tell you that much. All right. This next rule I had to deal with in 6th grade. I don't remember ever having to deal with this in 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade when I went to junior high, but I remember having to deal with this in the 6th grade. In fact, I think it was only the first semester or like before Christmas break. I don't remember having to deal with this rule. Actually, I don't remember. I don't remember how long this was in effect, but if I remember correctly though, it was only in 6th grade. I don't remember dealing with this in 7th or 8th grade. But okay, we were not allowed to go like a certain way, I can't talk today. We were not allowed to go into this certain direction in the halls. Like, okay. Let's say, okay. So I had to let's say I had like social studies class next. All right. Let's say I have social studies class next, okay? And social studies class, my social studies class was like in this direction, right? Well, I would not be allowed to go into this direction, so I had to I had to go the other way, so I had to go the freaking long way and go all the way around. You know, it took 5 times longer, and there were times where I would end up being tardy, and then my teachers on this wing where it wasn't allowed, they would get mad at me for being tardy, and they would be like, "You're late," or "Why are you late?" And it's because I had to go the long way. I had to go all the way around the freaking school because these freaking teachers wouldn't let me go the actual way where the classes are. And on top of that, I would have books to carry, and that would freaking slow me down even more. It does feel good to get this out. All right. I think okay, I'm not 100% sure, but I think the reason was because I think they were renovating classrooms because I had to move to a couple of new classrooms. I think it was after Christmas break. I think that was the reason for not being able to go, this way to my classes. I mean, I'll admit, that doesn't make it as stupid, but still, what's so wrong with going in a certain way where they're doing renovations? As long as it's not a mess, which it wasn't. I freaking went around the school 1,000 times before moving into those classrooms, and I didn't even notice any construction being done, so I'm probably wrong. I don't even think that's the case. I'm just saying, if that would be the only logical case. Because I don't remember whether or not having to do this after Christmas break. I just remember having to deal with it like a couple of months into 6th grade, the first few months before Christmas break or before the first semester was over or whatever. That would be the only remote reason that I could think about. But, I never knew why. I wanted to ask why, but you know how freaking teachers are about that stuff. Why can't we go that way? Because I said so, Why, you know how like teachers and parents are when it comes to why, So I was just freaking confused the whole time, and I still think about it, actually. There are still days where I think about, like, what is so wrong with going a certain way to get to a class? Like, like, do they want us to be tardy? Didn't they want us to be tardy? Like, seriously. Okay. Now, this isn't really necessarily, I don't know if this isn't really necessarily like a rule, but this was just something really fucking retarded. Like, so when I was in elementary school, I don't remember dealing with this in high school or junior high, but I remember dealing with this in elementary school one time. Okay, I had to go to the bathroom, okay? But all the stalls were taken. So I wasn't even really paying attention. I just had to go, so I just went in whatever stall was available. So I went into the stall on the end. And then when I came back out, one of the other people in the restroom, they butt in and said, "You went in the teachers only stall." That's really stupid. Like, why have a stall that only teachers can use? Like, what if all the other stalls are taken and then there's someone who really has to go to the bathroom? Like, sometimes I have a hard time holding it in, Sometimes I have a hard time holding it. And I'm sure a lot of people are like me, too, so I think it's really stupid to have, like, a freaking stall that only teachers use. I get it. Teachers have to go, too, but they should have bathrooms in the teachers' lounge, okay? That's their restrooms, okay? I'm not saying teachers can't use the, teachers can't use, the restrooms in, the main restrooms, but I'm not saying they can't, but but for like having restrooms that, that are only for them, wouldn't it make more sense for the builders of these facilities to put restrooms like that are connected to the teacher's lounge? Okay, I think that's about it for like really stupid school rules. So I'm gonna jump into dress code now. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. But yeah, dress code. Okay, my school had the stupidest dress code ever. Oh my god. Where do I don't even know where to begin. Like, okay. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Sorry, guys. But, like, okay. The really stupid stuff started when I was in 5th grade. We had to keep our shirts tucked in, which I'm not gonna lie, I struggled to do that. You know, people have different clothing, people have like different like body types. Like for some people it may be like easy, but for like other people it's a struggle, like, and it can be uncomfortable too to have your shirt tucked in. It could make you feel tight. So yeah. And then like, oh my god, like, okay, this started the last 6 weeks of 5th grade. We had to start wearing belts. I am not shitting you. It was a literal rule that we had to wear belts in school. And I have a couple of incidents where I kind of got into trouble for not wearing a belt. When I was in 5th grade, I had to sit out for recess for not wearing a belt. And then like, okay. And then in 6th grade, and I remember I would tell people about the incident that happened in 5th grade. Even my mom said that was like really stupid. And then I remember telling my neighbor too. He thought it was really stupid. And then I remember in 6th grade, or I don't know if this was 6th grade or 7th grade or 8th grade. I can't remember. I think it was. Ooh, they're going to a race on May 1st. But anyway, and then, but yeah, I believe this was junior high. It could have been high school even. I don't remember, but I think it was in junior high. I can't really remember this very well, but when it was. But I remember getting called into the office for not wearing a belt. But yeah, and I remember I was like crying as well. I think, but the assistant principal, he was understanding at least. I told him that like, you know, dealing with the belt is like a struggle for me. And like he was understanding. I think he called my mom or something. I remember him making a phone call. Like I can't remember if this was to the teacher or to the principal or to my mom, but I remember him making like a phone call saying that it was a legitimate excuse, you know. How it was a valid excuse. So thankfully, I think that was the end of the whole belt issue. And then this one rule that happened, it was the last day of 9th grade. I was not allowed to bring my backpack to school. Excuse me. I still did it anyway because, I had final exams and I still had shit to carry. I had my binder and so anyway, yeah, I had to leave my backpack in the freaking office. And I can remember I was like almost crying too. Guys, here's the thing. I'm really, 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 I'm a very sensitive person, okay? Like, if I would like get in trouble, like, if I get in trouble by someone, you know, that's enough to make me cry. Or at least it was back then, because I was younger back then, I was almost 15. I mean, I was a teenager, but I was still young back then. And I believe I was even more sensitive than I am now, which I still am pretty sensitive now. But yeah, like, if I, like, got in trouble or got, like, for something, especially something minor, like, that would be enough to make me cry, like, and I almost did cry, because the principal, the same one that I mentioned earlier with the locker incident, he wasn't understanding that I still had stuff to carry and I still had like some exams to take. Like, come on, let people bring their backpack. Like, some people may not need it, but like some people still may have like stuff to carry. I'm gonna get an ID card soon. Oh, I'm so. But anyway, I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting really, really distracted. But yeah, okay. Some people may not need to bring their backpack. Okay, but that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that other people don't. Like, there's still maybe people out there that have like shits to carry, so they're gonna want to bring their backpack. You know, and I remember I was kind of struggling that day to carry around all my stuff because I still had like some like school supplies that I had to carry. I remember having to carry a binder, and then like I had my lunch, and I had like some other things I had to carry. Yeah, it was a struggle, but at least some people, this one girl, she did help me carry my binder to one of my classes, so that was good. But come on. Even if it's the last day of school, let people bring their backpack. People have shit they gotta carry. Like, even if they're not, even if they're exempt for their exams, they may still have stuff they gotta carry. So let people bring their freaking backpack on the last day of school. But yeah, I kind of jumped back to school rules from dress code. I'm sorry, guys. I know this video was kind of. I was just getting really distracted a lot in this video because I kept hearing my dad talking about like stuff, like even some future stuff with them and me going on. So I just got distracted in this video. I don't really have much else to say. I'm getting too distracted and I don't really have anything else to talk about on the top of my head. So I'm just gonna end this video right here. Point is, rules are important, and it's important to like be told to like it's important for like certain things to not be allowed and under certain circumstances. And it's also important to dress presentably. It's to dress like nicely, like, I get that. I do, but the point is like some schools go too overboard with their little rules and dress code. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't wear it, you can't wear it, you can't wear that, you can't go there, you can't go there, you can't go there, you can't do that. Anyway, I hope you guys agree with this video. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye.